And we also have a reaction to the governor's speech from state party leaders today, starting with GOP Chairman Kyle Hupfer.
It's exciting for Hoosiers. I mean, I think it's a testament to the data-driven approach that Indiana's taken from day one under Governor Holcomb and his team's leadership. We're vaccinating at one of the highest rates, if not the highest rates in the country per capita. I know we just discussed that there's going to be some more mass vaccination sites around the state. To think that anyone over 16 is eligible, I believe we may be one of the first, if not the first state in the country to be completely opened up for vaccinations. And so I think we're headed for a good spring and summer.
But a number of medical experts have gone on the record this week saying they think it's a bad move to get rid of the mask mandate before everyone has a chance to get fully vaccinated. What's your response to that?
I just would go back to what the governor has shared numerous times, is that he's let the metrics and data drive this. And you've seen that the numbers that he's been focused on have been driven down. We've vaccinated our most at risk for hospitalization and death. This disease is going to be around for a while. We know that. But we're certainly in a position where we can start getting back to full normalcy. And I think there'll still be, as the governor said, a lot of folks who continue to wear their own masks and in public. I certainly will. And it'll adjust over time, but allowing capacity limits to go up especially is important, allow some larger events to take place when they can be done in a safe manner.
Let's talk politics here too. No elections this year in Indiana, but we do have a new Secretary of State in office now, in Holly Sullivan. Amidst a lot of debate over election reform, both at the state and the national level, you've just been reelected as chairman of the party for a second term, and you have a new counterpart down the street taking over the state Democratic Party. What's the political outlook here in Indiana for the next couple of years, and how do you maintain the kind of success your party has seen here at the state level?
Well, certainly the message that I share statewide with all our Republican leaders is that it's oftentimes harder to stay on top than it is to get there. But the way we've gotten here is through solution-focused policies enacted at the state level and at county levels across the state that have led to prosperity for Hoosiers, record levels of job creation, record levels of workforce development dollars, and another increase in educational funding coming out of the General Assembly this year. So I think we have to continue to keep our eye on solutions for Hoosiers. That's what they've come to expect and trust from Republicans. And that's what we'll continue to deliver.
Kyle Hupfer, congratulations on being reelected to a second term, and thanks for taking some time with us today.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm joined now by the new state party chair for the Indiana Democrats, Mike Schmuhl. Mike, congratulations on the new role.
Thank you, Dan. Good to be with you.
You're taking over here at a pretty interesting time in the life of our state and really our entire country, obviously, toward what is hopefully the end of this coronavirus pandemic. And I want to start by getting your reaction to the governor's speech this week. Did he meet the moment? Are you concerned at all about some of these restrictions, including the mask mandate, being rolled back here soon?
Well, I think all Hoosiers should welcome the news yesterday that sort of helps us see the light at the end of the tunnel, Dan. You know, I think that we've been through so much over the last year, and it is good news that the vaccine age will be lowered and that more people will receive it. I also think a couple things, though. I think that, you know, our ability to do this and to come out of this virus, come out of it in a healthy manner, is a big result because of federal leadership, too, and the federal state partnerships that have been developed with Joe Biden in the White House. You know, some of Governor Holcomb's own advisors have said that that partnership has been critical, and President Biden passed the American Rescue Plan, which really gave more state and local governments the ability to do some of this work. You mentioned the masks, and I do think that while this is welcome news and that we do see light at the end of the tunnel, we need to come out of the pandemic in a way that truly gets us to the finish line. And truly lets us run through the tape, and that we don't start having gatherings and people are ripping off their masks, you know, prematurely. We just can't have that. We're so close to getting through this pandemic, and my hope is that that mask advisory is extended into some sort of mask mandate in the weeks ahead.
Let's talk about your new role here as party chair. What's going to be your focus moving forward here politically for a party that's really struggled to win over voters here in Indiana in recent years?
Yeah. Well, Dan, to use a March Madness analogy, we got to get back in the game. I sort of feel like a new coach who's coming in, and my team hasn't made the tournament in a while. And I think some people can relate with no Indiana teams left in any bracket. And so, I'm getting my bearings. I'm starting to raise money for our party. I'm hiring a top-notch team. I'm talking with people across the state on devising a game plan to get us competitive again. And that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that our party has a clear message, that we are going everywhere, that we are talking to every Hoosier, and that we're talking about the things that we are pushing for and advocating for, and the things that we always have. A good paying job with benefits, protecting your health care, getting out of this pandemic, and offering, you and your children a good public education.